Hello and welcome, my name is Epudds, and today we're going to be looking at some underrated hunter exotics in Destiny 2 and some builds I put together using them. Because of the nature of exotics, most people tend to steer away from utility-based ones, and instead lean more towards ones that amplify supers. Things like Celestial Nighthawk, Raiden Flux, and Orpheus Rig. The exotics we're going to be looking at today are Ophidia Spathe and young Ahamkara's Spine. The first exotic is fairly straightforward. It gives you a second knife charge when you're using a solar-based subclass, and the second exotic increases trip mine grenade duration, blast radius, and allows grenade regen when you deal ability damage. On the surface, these builds are almost identical and behave in similar ways, but they also heavily revolve around the solar plexus artifact mod. So, if you're watching this video in a season where the mod isn't available, these builds are still possible, but just know that you're going to lose some of their potency. I like to use Middle Tree Gunslinger for these builds. I believe it has the most synergy out of the three and offers the highest uptime for your abilities, mainly because of these two perks. Playing with fire, destroying burning enemies recharges your melee more quickly, and Burning Edge. While enemies burn, your dodge ability recharges faster. You'll also want to be using Gambler's Dodge for this. Dodging near an enemy fully recharges your melee ability. When it comes to stats and armor mods, you'll want to have Solar Plexus on your cloak for increased solar melee damage, and 100 mobility. This is the most important thing you're looking for, as it means your dodge will be on a 9-second cooldown, allowing for melee regen more often. The rest of your stats don't matter as much because most of your ability regen is going to be coming from perks and your dodge. If you can easily get to 100 mobility or want to maximize your efficiency even further, you can use the following armor mods provided you have the matching elemental affinity for your armor. Powerful Friends increases your mobility by 20 when using an arc mod. Can only be equipped on arc armor with the correct seasonal slot. Mobility mods and traction if you're needing extra mobility, however traction can only be used on boots. Perpetuation decreases class ability regen when using your class ability, can only be equipped on void cloaks. And Momentum Transfer decreases melee cooldown when using grenade abilities, which can only be equipped on solar gauntlets. The elemental affinity for your Ophidia Spathe doesn't matter too much, but you'll want a solar young Ahamkara Spine for momentum transfer. Now let's see these builds in action. The Ophidia Spathe build can one-shot most low-tier enemies, but it's most effective against groups with a mix of different enemy types. You can take out 2 or more low-tier enemies with your first charge, tag a major with your second, dodge, and repeat the process. It can be an effective ad clear provided you get the rhythm down, and it can also be paired well with swashbuckler weapons for increased ad clear. Against tougher single targets like bosses, it has near infinite uptime, but won't be as efficient at dealing damage. I'd recommend pairing the build with Witherhoard with the Catalyst if you want to squeeze out the most damage that you can. The Spine build works very much the same way. Grenade, throwing knife, dodge, throwing knife, grenade, etc. It's effective at clearing out ads because of the increased blast radius of your trip mine, but it doesn't offer the same levels of sustained damage. However, the Spine build has one major advantage, and this is where the two builds deviate massively. The Spine build can be paired with Demolitionist Weapons for much higher DPS. The Demolitionist Weapon perk reloads your currently equipped weapon when you throw a grenade, and also generates grenade energy when you get a kill with that weapon. I'd recommend pairing it with 2 Demolitionist grenade launchers, something like Truth Teller and Berenger's Memory. You can now pump out way more damage and even compete with some of the highest DPS builds out there. So, slap on one of these exotics, get your mobility to 100, equip Solar Plexus, grab some Demolitionist or Swashbuckler weapons and start throwing stuff. These builds are a lot of fun and are actually pretty decent in most activities. If you enjoyed the video or found the information helpful, a positive rating would be appreciated. And if you want to keep up to date with everything I'm doing, you can subscribe to the channel and follow me over on Twitter. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.